Well, welcome to the John Williams Show right here in our studio. Yeah, we're right here in our studio, right here on the John Williams Shepard Show. I always do this here. We want to bring light and shed light to those viewers out there who have been going to my radio show on Enlisted Media, ENLISTICMEDIA.com. Support our show. We have a Monday through Friday show. I come on at 12 noon, Monday through Friday. That's going to be Central Standard Time, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, y'all. So, and Western time is going to be specific. Western, I call it Western. Specific time is going to be 11, right? So, but with no further ado, y'all, I want to thank y'all for engaging in our radio show and supporting our show, supporting the John Williams Show right there on Enlisted, ENLISTICMEDIA.com. Radio, hit the menu, go to the radio, go down to BPUA, Black Paralegals Undergraduate Association, and get our information off on there. My information is, so you can contact me at BPUA. Those of you who are in Chapter 62, we serve 256 counties right here in the state of Texas as a paralegal, which I do, right here in the state of Texas. And so that information is John Williams. So which is you can go to J.E. Shepard, JESHEPARD 76 at gmail.com, 214-875-1161, 214-875-1161, 214-875-1161. Hit us up on our studio line. The studio line is 682-368-4194. 682-368-4194. And that's our studio line, 682-368-4194. On the studio line for the John Williams Shepard Show. We definitely want to get your take on the show. We've been dealing with a lot of governors. Y'all know that there's been 153 governors in 2022 to run throughout the country. And so we're down at 8 potential governors here in the state, in 8 states here across America. And here are some of those governors right here. And I've got a chance to talk with several of those governors here, Texas, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. So we want to definitely give a shout out to those governors, Governor Gilbert, Governor Johnson, and Governor Constance out in Tennessee, Texas, and Oklahoma. So help us out right here on our show, right here. That's with our cash out. That's $B7P7U6A6, 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 and help us out on our show. You like what we're doing, you like the news that we bring to you, and things like that, the forum that we have going, the guests that we have come on our show, and I try to do a lot of exclusive news, some things that we do need to know about, keep us informed and addressed. But today's show, y'all, we're going to be talking about some things that really is plaguing us, in our community. We have a lot of black judges. We're here in the DFW area, right in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And our judges come under a lot of attack here. But my question to us is: are we really headed in the right direction toward liberation? We deal with the Powernomics, the Clyde Anderson's Powernomics, and a lot of other forums I'm reading right now, The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And that's a pretty good book, and it's a book of different class and how different class, where we are in different class as far as finance, as far as education, and those different classes, even religion, the class of that, and all these different classes that we have been locked and boxed and placed in and categorized in by the dominant society, those who have deemed us to give our labor and our time and our labor. And I'm not giving my time anymore and my labor anymore. I refuse to be able to do something like that to keep somebody else ahead of the game, and me well behind and beneath and underappreciated. So with that, I want to just thank us. Keep tuned in. We're finna get ready to head out of the studio. We're gonna get out into the streets. I'm gonna do a little maneuvering and walking around a little bit here. So I'm gonna take this thing out from the studio. We're gonna continue our conversation, y'all. All right, I will be right back. And we're back, you guys. I wanted to make sure we took this right out here in the streets so that we could really talk about some hard-nosed questions, y'all. Here is my thing, I'm looking at how are we really, and what are we really going to do? You know, are we really ready? Are we really ready for what's called liberation, or are we just living the motion? I'm looking at some of the things that's going on the for black people on the Facebook deal. I done been scammed on it a couple of times here with the Bitcoin mining and stuff like that on the WhatsApps and all this old kind of different stuff. We have nothing but a lot of scams for each other. We scamming each other, and we have to get past that, and then we flashing a little bit of stuff that we getting off of this Cash App stuff. We flash with it. That shows me that we really don't we really not used to anything. That's what it says, and I see us do a lot of this stuff. Here's the thing: you don't see white folks go around flashing what they got or talking about how these things. They may put some stuff out there and show you some things, but they watch us, study us, and they know how to attract us. And it's cold-blooded how it's done. When the way they do it, but they know how to attract us and keep us attracted. It's simple, because what they do is they simply follow us and watch us. Follow some little thing we do, and then we put it out there, and then it's so simple to be able to get to us, and then advertise to us, because we're already really in a position to where we vulnerable. We're in a vulnerable position. So I asked my black brothers and sisters out here, what are we really doing? What are we really advocating? Who are we really lying to? Because we know where we really stand. We know what's really going on. We're no further off and better off dealing with each other. We really need to get back to the root of everything and to the essence of everything. We don't have care for each other as we once had, and it's a sad scenario how it really is for us. I don't really know what to say about us other than we're going to have to get it together. We got to get it together. What are some of the things that we need to start really doing? I'm bringing shedding some light on some things right here on the John Williams Shepard Show, again, in Listen Media. Y'all check us out there. I'm trying to really talk to us. We talk to each other all the time anyway, and we haven't really came up with a solution as to what we're really going to do. We've come up with every book, every plan, and that seems to just add to our repertoire of certain type of knowledge. But to me, it answers. But we haven't, again, on the show, I was talking to the governors. And I said, we got all the right tools, but we just need to get the right mechanics. Since we got the tools, where are our mechanics? Where are not just our leaders, but where are our real mechanics? What are we really doing? Are we really for real? And I think other races see us as really just guests, not really for real, really have to be told what to do and monitored and babied and pacified. We have to get away from that. We're going to have to really become adults in America and not this 7th and 8th class citizenry that we have encompassed and so and so subjected to. we must come to another position. When we came out of this so-called idea of slavery, the so-called idea of slavery, and we got our 6 justices, and we started making laws, and got our schools, and got all these things. Well, some of those justices said that one of the last ones who was before he got booted out, he said, well, maybe it was too premature for us. Maybe we needed to sit down and learn who we were as being reincubated in a whole different place, different time zone. Besides the Africans who was already really here, who was used to the climate and used to all the stuff that was going on over here. It was now it's a position to where he was saying that, and I can't think of his name, y'all, so forgive me. But he was saying he was one of the last justices before they booted him out of the justice. He, in turn, black people thought that he sold them out by saying that maybe we achieved it too prematurely, and that we need to go and learn our businesses. In a way, yeah, I could agree. I don't think it was premature as far as we knew what we wanted. We just didn't know how to fully achieve it without somebody else infringing on our absolute right as a human being. So by them having this certain status says to them that, they've reached human being status as far as the new as far as being civilized, as far as the new world concerned, not a third world or a second. I don't even know what the second world was. They skip over the second, so always talk about the third one. Or have we prematurely advanced, or do we need to re-strategize our advancement? There's a lot of hard-nosed questions to be asked, and these questions should be answered. Where are we really? Who are we really? Do we know who we are? Do we know what we want? Do we know where we're headed? And for those who have sat back and dealt and got the answers, not all the answers, but enough of the answers to a lot of the financial and educational disparities, and to have bridged the gap for themselves in so many ways. When I think of the Civil War, what do you think? I think of how many black people, the Civil War, going up to civil rights, Civil War, civil rights. How many black people actually did not fight for their freedom in the Civil War? And how many black people actually did not stand up for civil rights? Even the civil rights of the early 1840s, those early 1840s civil rights movements, 1850s and 1860s. And I'm not just talking about those who were afraid. I'm talking about those who had a reason, and for whatever reason, they did not stand up to liberate themselves. And for whatever reason now, for those who today, for whatever reason, you don't see them in the, I don't want to just say Black Lives Matter because I'm movement. I just want to say in the conscious movement, as if anything is happening to them relevant to their survival. But that's what I want to see. So does that mean that it's really not happening? When I look at a group of blacks and I see more of them sitting in hostile America versus the very tens of few who would much rather not sit back and pretend, it makes me wonder, do we really have a problem? Food for thought. Do we really have a problem? Because if it only took, if the problem really did that way, why are not others who really could address it in a different form? Why don't they address it? Why don't they address it? If they can band up and link up with the right people who may be not in the same class or in the same status, why didn't they link up? They under the same. Why didn't the field Negro link up with the house Negro? Or why didn't he saw what the oppression was? Or why didn't the one that was supposed to be on the horse, that was supposed to watch the he was the watchman. He saw what was going on. He knew what his job was. He knew he was just under subjection, just like any other one of the slaves. But he got a chance to be on a horse and tame him and break a horse and stuff like that. See, that's that officer. Crooked officer, crooked officer. Remember that? I want to put you in a coffin, sir. Yeah. Get it on. Remember that? Bring it on. That's that Houston stuff. That's that Phil. That's that Houston. But anyway, I want to know what? Because they can't be scared. They can't be scared. He's an officer. He ain't scared. What is it? The reason that he or she feels that it's not that important at this time to band up with everybody else who oppressed. And then here's another thing. Liberation or freedom, so-called, in a certain form, in a trickery, according to Dr. Clyde Anderson, actually ended up coming. So are people complacent to just wait things out? See, that makes you wonder that too. Are we just sitting here waiting things out? Well, it'll change. We just going to have to wait it up. Is it gonna change, or do we? What did they do? Did they make a change? Did they make a change? Or did they just say, we just gonna wait it out? They made a conscious effort to do something for themselves at a time that was crucial for their survival. You go under after about the second 100 year of oppression, of man-made oppression, because we look at the cotton field, but man, that was cotton fields, that was rice fields, that was swamp land, that was land that had to be what they call, they didn't have bulldozers, so you had to get the brushes and had to use rocks and had to use saws to go through for that wooded land. You had cornfields, though you had to kill snakes, spiders, all kind of stuff. This is still what they do in prison. You had to bust rocks down, dig ditches and mud, and you didn't have the best tools, and a lot of that stuff by hand. It was the pea fields, the pecans. You had to do that. You worked out every damn thing, and you did everything. and there was no work that you did. You had the potatoes, with the watermelons and all that. There was a whole lot of things that was done because you were growing these things and you were living on land and off of land. You had to build a house. You didn't necessarily have the right tools to even do it. You mainly just had hammer and nails, and sometimes just nails that were some towed down from somewhere. They had to re-scrap it and stuff like that. You were at the lowest point when we came up. We were at the lowest point, and we're at that point again. Only thing we're doing now is showing off like heck about on some things. We're showing off of a civil rights movement that came and gave us a pretense of being socially involved in the American experience. But we're not part of it, none whatsoever, because we don't produce anything here in America besides something that they've already done. If we go and we do something, it'll be something they've already invented. We just have to try to go behind it and make it black. There's something else what we're doing. We haven't produced anything because it's already given away. Take hip hop for example. Hip hop had its music, it had its dance, it had its choreography, it had everything to it. It's white now. White have taken it, it's taken the culture, it's taken the dance, it's all white. And they put it on their televisions, and they put it in their communities, and they put it in, and they've given it this different culture now. It's not just, it was the black gangster, it was the black movement, it was the black conscious. Now it's just, it was getting more streamed into degrading black women in a lot of fashion, but in a lot of ways also, it would uplift. We had those particular conscious songs coming out of the hip hop, just and no hip, then hop, because we were just hip with it, never hopped. Then we started hopping, now it's the hip hop flavor in different cultures to be able to express themselves. They're not expressing themselves under a master stereo. I'm talking about the white culture using it, or any other culture that use hip hop to express themselves. They're not using it as far as being oppressed by a full domination of oppression, where you dominated class, culture, religion, offspring. You dominated because you've lost your inalienable birthright, and you dominated because you have become a sixth-class citizen, giving up your time daily for work. So they're not dominated like that. So when they talking and rapping and stuff like that, they talking class. They're not accepted by the certain dominant society for being part of it, or are they talking about it in that particular way, or use the black experience and haven't gone through any of it, and just taken a beat that has been known to be something that we are accustomed to, and the drum or the hi-hat or the bass line or whatever, and have taken that and snared it or whatever and put some lyrics behind it that have really captivated us, and they've stolen our stuff. We have to come up with something else. They stole our way of preaching. I seen Chinese people preach like black men now. Oh God, come on. You stealing every dang thing. You steal anything that you could take our style. It's too simple to do. It's too simple. And it's too simple to befriend us, and because we want a friend, because we don't care about one another. We're not each other's friend no more. And then when it comes down to them not really addressing the stigmatism of racism, the difference between races and cultures, and how one race have dominated the other, and that race have so dominated and been just invited as a doggone guest to do anything in America, be part of America, be classified as an American. And then also the war on the suppression of the history, race-based theory. So they get their theology, they get their great professors, and they get their professors and they get all these people who they impose upon other races who are guests, and African people are still merely guests under the illusion of inclusion, but the illusion of being so free from some type of paper that claim that you ain't got to follow my rule no more. But we're lost in the mix. We're lost in the mix, and I think the atmosphere that we really now have is an atmosphere of what are we going to do? Because we have become to the point where they say zombified, you know. So somewhere we have to get to the point where the zombification like that is something where we think about the zombie. He is something always can get his attention. But the main thing is brains. He has to eat it. But it's funny that he knows you different. He or she knows that a person that's not like him is different, and they can eat the sense out of them. So we need a different sense, and we need to eat the right sense. We're not brainwashed. We're brain dirty, and we need to be brainwashed so that we can have a clean brain. And think again, they even so cold that they make us think that washed is dirty, because we go around saying brainwashed. So I had a elder tell me we need to be careful about how we use that word, because they'll constrain up the word wash and give us this illusion that they've washed our minds with something. They ain't washed our minds with nothing. They filtered our minds with something, and then we need to be washed. And so I thought about what he said. John, I think his name was John Horn, rest in peace. And John Hall or John Horn, anyway, of Dallas. But he gave me this. And when he told me that, I had to rethink of brainwashed. And when I thought of brainwashed, hold just a minute. Watch this. And when we become brainwashed, we get away from being brain dirty. See, right now, we are what we call brain dirty. We need a brainwashing. If I get brainwashed, then from the time that I've had a dirty, filthy mind, I've gotten a transformation of a new washed mind. The Bible talk about this, that one, they couldn't see, so Jesus spit on the ground and washed his face. Go wash in the pool of Bethesda. So he went and washed, and he wasn't there. So Jesus said, go wash again. He washed again. See, washing away something. And once they washed away what we had from the beginning, and took that out, and then filterized us something that we ain't never had. Now we actually need to be back again, brainwashed back again. And once we get brainwashed again, my friend, we won't be brain dirty. We need to be back brainwashed so that we could be back clean. Because from right now, from where I sit, and from what I know about us, and the few little things that we've done, and the accomplishments that we've made, it's because we've been brain dirty. We've been brain dirty doing these accomplishments. Let us try to get really brainwashed and see what we can do. All right, y'all. This is John Williams with the John Williams Shepard Show. Y'all know how I do it. Signing off. Y'all remember to check me out on Enlisted Media Monday through Friday, okay? Enlisted Media, NLISTICMEDIA.com. Go to the menu. When you go to the menu, then go to Enlisted Radio, check me out. All right, John Williams, signing off.